This video is going to be for the most part unedited, and yeah, because I don't have the ability really to edit videos right now for this channel, because the way I make the videos is a whole other process, you don't got to worry about that. I'm here to talk about the Charlotte Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets were not good last year, and there are a few reasons for that. Of course, they honestly had a pretty decent team, but Lamelo got injured. Miles Bridges was out for half-court reasons. And after those two guys were lost, the rest of the team was kind of and they didn't win any games, so they had a pretty good reason to tank. So now they tanked. They got the second pick. They got Brandon Miller, who's, in my opinion, one of the best prospects in the draft. And yeah, and I think he's the right pick over Scoot Henderson, in my opinion. If you're wondering more about my draft takes, you know what I'm saying, go check out the mock draft. I did release it after the draft, but you know, you can still watch it. But yeah. Now they have Brandon Miller on the team. Miles Bridges is coming back. Lamelo is hopefully coming back from injury. He should be back by this point because he's had a lot of time to rest. And they have a pretty young, promising team. They also drafted Nick Smith Jr., and he's a pretty nice player who could be a good addition to the team, I think. And yeah, we'll see what happens this season. And I don't know why, but I feel like this team is going to be at least decent. I feel like they're going to surprise some people. Because, of course, we've seen what Lamelo can do. He was an all-star in his second year, which is a pretty rare accomplishment for players to get. And he was hooping, man. He can shoot, he can pass like crazy. He's a great passer. He can handle the ball. He's pretty much like the main piece that this team has, and he's like still really young, so he can still grow and get even better. And then you have Miles Bridges, who is coming back from off-court stuff. And he's also, because you're trying to build this team around LaMelo, Miles Bridges is a pretty good guy for that. He's a lob threat. He can shoot the ball. He can get his own bucket whenever he needs to. So, you know, that's a pretty good guy to have on the team with LaMelo. And then, of course, you also have Mark Williams. Mark Williams, I was watching his highlights yesterday, and I was just wondering, there's a lot of players who I didn't get to watch much of the season. And I was wondering, how do these players play? I did the same thing for Franz Wagner. I did the same thing for Calvin Johnson, Devin Vassell. And now I did it for Mark Williams. And Mark Williams is a defensive beast, man. He can block shots, get rebounds like crazy, and he can finish in the post a little bit. I do think his scoring he should improve it a little bit. But I mean, that was just his rookie season. Like, for his rookie season, he did pretty good. So I like the little core they have here with LaMelo, Bridges, and Mark Williams. And then you still have Brandon Miller, the rookie you just drafted, who's a great shooter, great defender, a great guy to put around LaMelo. And you also have, of course, Nick Smith Jr., who I also talked about, who you drafted, who could be a great offensive option off the bench. And then you still have Terry Rozier and Kelly Oubre and Gordon Hayward, some guys who could still help the team. I mean, I would like it if they did trade Gordon Hayward, to be honest. But because they could get some good value from him, and he could go to another team where he would actually help them win. I mean, because this team is with the young core, and they're trying to kind of like build and like develop. And Gordon Hayward's not really studying that development. He could even be a nice mentor to the team, and if he's like that, I mean, sure. But that contract is a pretty big contract, and $30 million to be a mentor, I don't know about that. I think that Gordon Hayward should go to a different team where he can actually help them contend, or even if they bought him out, I don't know if they would buy him out. But then he would be on the buyout market next year, mid-season, like just have him for half the season and then put him on the buyout market, kind of like what the Cavs did with Kevin Love, where a veteran plays a mentor type role, and then halfway into the season, buy him out, and then let him sign to a team where he could actually help contend. So, you know what I'm saying? That could be a potential option for Gordon Hayward to do, for the Hornets to do. And I think that would be a pretty smart option because then it opens up more time for Brandon Miller to start, for Miles Bridges to start. And I really like this core with Lamelo, Miller, Bridges, and Mark Williams. And then even Nick Smith Jr. too, because he's also part of the young core. He's going to be coming off the bench to start it, but still. I really like how they form this core and how they all fit with Lamelo, because Lamelo he's like your franchise piece at this point, and around a playmaking point guard, it's great to put defenders, shooters, and a good big man. And you got defenders with Brandon Miller and Mark Williams being great defenders. You got shooters with Brandon Miller, Terry Rozier. You got some other guys on the team who could probably shoot. and then you got Miles Bridges and Mark Williams, both lob threats. And also a secondary scoring option. Miles Bridges right now is that secondary scoring option. It could become Brandon Miller in the future, but I think right now Miles Bridges fits well into that role. So yeah, I really like the team that they built around Lamelo. Around Lamelo. It's not like they've really made that many changes this year in this offseason, but I still like the team that they have right now. And I don't think they're gonna be like a super high playoff team, but I think they could at least surprise some people, kind of like what the Pacers did last year. Because last year, the Pacers, not many people expected them to be that good, and they weren't that good at the end of the year. But at the beginning of the season, they was hooping. They was with Tyrese, Ben, Miles Turner, all them guys they was doing their thing. I'm not gonna lie. And they was like a playoff team, like the 6 seed, 5 seed at one point in the season. And then Tyrese got injured and they fell off. And that could happen again. But if it didn't, I could see the Hornets being a solid playing team, maybe like a 7, 8 seed. Because LaMelo is that guy. He could even get better, and he could be like have an all-star year. Miles Bridges is also really good. He could average 20 plus a game. Brandon Miller, I don't expect him to have a great rookie season because we saw his struggles in Summer League. And I mean, Summer League isn't a perfect depiction of how a player is going to play in the NBA. But still, I don't want to put my hopes too high for him because I don't know what he's going to turn into. And, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just got to give these guys time to develop. And that's what might be true for Brandon Miller. And I think I really like Brandon Miller. I really liked him coming out of college. And when I saw his highlights and I scouted him, I'm like, yeah, this guy's definitely a good guy to go on the Hornets because he plays great defense. And also, he's actually a decent playmaker. He can play pretty well in transition, make those quick decisions. I think Brandon Miller on this team would be really good, especially with LaMelo and Miles Bridges with the fast-paced little offense they play sometimes. You know what I'm saying? That would be pretty decent. So, yeah, I think the Hornets could legit be at least a solid playing team. At most, maybe like a 7 seed, 8 seed. Probably 8 seed, but you know what I'm saying? We'll see what happens. I still don't know why. Because the reason I don't know why I have such high hopes for this team is because they didn't really make that many changes this offseason other than getting Brandon Miller, getting Nick Smith Jr. Getting Miles Bridges, I guess, back. They still haven't re-signed PJ Washington, which is something to think about because that could mean they either re-sign him and they keep him on the team. Now he's another guy on the team. Or they put him in a sign and trade and get something back. And honestly, I don't hate the sign and trade option. But we'll see what happens with PJ Washington. I don't know what they're going to do. But, I mean, to have him back would be fine. It's all up to them, though. We'll see. We will see. But, yeah, that's pretty much all I came here to talk about. The Hornets are just... It doesn't make sense. I just feel like they're gonna be at least decent. Because of the team that they have right now and the young players that they have on the team are some young guys that I really like. So, yeah. I'm going to make a season preview for every team this upcoming September, October, around that time. So be ready for those videos coming up and my season predictions as well. And yeah, that's about it. There's still a lot of off-season moves that could happen. So of course, nothing's set in stone yet. But for now, I like the way that the Hornets are looking. So we'll see if something different happens. I'll probably talk about it, but don't actually no. I don't know if I'll talk about it because you never know with this channel. I don't be that consistent, but we'll see, man. We'll see what happens. But for now, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. This video is gonna be little to no editing. It's just gonna be me in front of the camera talking, and probably not even any music in the background. But you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to get this video out because I don't want to leave y'all with nothing. And I thought this was a video I can make without adding too much editing into it. So yeah, if you enjoyed, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment down below any tips, tricks, or topics you have me to talk about. I have more upcoming videos coming up, some series. I'm not gonna guarantee that they're coming soon, but they're coming up. You know what I'm saying? So be ready for that. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.